Yeah, good day everyone. There's another beautiful video and a beautiful tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing you how to do drive mapping, okay? How to map network drive using group policy. So to do this, we'll be creating our instances on Amazon Web Services, that's AWS, and in these instances, we're gonna have our two machines, the DC controller and the client machine. And furthermore, we'll be needing the server manager, which you're going to find in your servers, there in our DC machine, and we're gonna be using remote desktop to connect them so we could get to log into this PC. And then we also gotta be using a group policy to do the actual drive mapping. So let's get into the video immediately. So first of all, our let's go to our AWS where we have created our instances. As you can see, two instances are running here. As you can see, the status they're running. We'll have our client machine and our DC controller. So what we do here is we want to log into the DC controller. However, I want us to assume that you have connected your client to your DC controller to the extent that clients can actually join that domain, and you know what I mean. Like, if you haven't done that, you should go to my previous video to learn how to deploy, how to set up Active Directory and Active Directory domain services, where you will create your domain and join a client into that domain so that you can be able to manage so many clients with one domain. So that is what it's all about. Okay, so I assume that you're past that level. In this video, we just want to show you how you can continue with your domain client, with your client that you're joining to your domain, how you can from that level create a drive map out drive where some of the client or some of the people that you want to be able to see this drive and those who don't want to see the drive. So that is what this video is all about. We want to show you how to do drive mapping, how you can do that using group policy. So this is our DC machine, and we're about to connect our DC machine. So, and that is why I told you we'll be using remote desktop protocol here, and I've already done this many times. So it shows me remote, it shows me record downloading. So all I do is just replace it, and I'll click it, and then I'm going to log in. But remember, I told you that I've already set up my domain controller, I've already set up Active Directory and everything, and I've already joined the client into this domain. So I'm going to be logging in as an account that has already been created, and that account is the admin account. That is Jerry_admin, and then our domain which is project.com/this, and I'm gonna have a password art1234. So this is our password and it's correct. So let's go log in. So you can see it's going in immediately, and let's get in. So as you can see, we're in here. We'll have a server manager on, and in our server manager we're going to tools, and let's go to Active Directory users and computers. Then in that we have already created some organizational unit. As you can see, we have admin, and this admin is actually this name that I used to log in here. So as you can see in the account here, we have the Jerry_admin. So that's where I log in. So this is the domain controller admin. But however, I've created some organizational unit here called employee, and this is where I actually want to use to demonstrate today's video, which is drive mapping. And as well create a bunch of users which are actually canals which I also would use to test if our domain user is a domain if our mapped out drive is actually working. So let's see. So here we also have a lot of security groups that have been created where you can join users in. So for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to create a new security user, and a new security group. I'm going to say group, and this group I'm going to call them. I'm going to call it employees user. I'll make it capital letter in the beginning. Employees user. So this is the name of our security group, and I'm going to say okay. Now we have it set on employee user. As you can see, let me draw it a little bit. Employee user. So now, and I'll go to our employee and see if I can create one or two users. So let me go to new and new user. Now I'm going to call this user Jane Doe. Jane Doe. So having created Jane Doe, I'm going to have our username is going to be Jane.Doe. Okay, so I'm going to say next, and I'm going to put password for Jane Doe. Let me just call it password art 7777. I'm going to do that again. Password art 7777. And I'm going to say next. Oh, no. I'm going to actually check this. I should uncheck this first, then check this. So password never expires for the sake of this demonstration. So let's say finish. So now we have one user here. The next thing to do is to add her to that security group that we already created. And our security group is, so we're going to go to members of. She's already a domain user because anyone you created in here is a domain user. Then I'm going to add an extra security group, which is our employee user. That's actually what I created. We found it. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now you can see it has been added, so it's now a member of the employee user. I'm going to say apply. Okay, and I'm going to say okay. So our job is done here. So here we have the employee. Our employee now is Jane Doe, and she's a member of the employee user. Okay, so I'm gonna say okay. Then what we're gonna do is that we actually want to map the drive. So, and the aim is to ensure that only those who are a member of this security group will be able to access that drive. So let's go to our PC. So that's how we get here. PC. I'm going to the C drive, and in that C drive, I'm going to create a new folder. Let me say in that folder, I'm going to call that folder employee data. Okay. Now in that employee data, I'm going to add it to that security group as well. So going to property, I'm going to share it with that security group. I've done sharing. I'm going to check this and permission. Then I'm going to add a new security group, which is our employee data. So yeah, so we saw it. I'm going to add it. I'm going to give that change. We'll just give it this level of control to change and read. Okay, but not a full control. I'm going to say apply. Okay. And I'm going to say apply. Okay. So now we have shared this. And I'm going to say close. So we have shared this. Now we're going to go back to this place. And here, we're going to go back to this place. We're going to go back to Server Manager. And in the Server Manager, we will go to Group Policy. So we have opened the Group Policy right now. And in the Group Policy, we have seen all the domain, all you see a domain here, this is a domain here, and we have a domain, we have this, we have employee. So we'll be working with this employee, and under this employee, we'll be creating a group, a GPO. So and the name of our GPO is gonna be employee GPO. Okay, so this enables us to, to do our drive mapping. So I have employees GPO, and I'm going to say okay. And now since we have created that, then here we're going to go to, having created it, I'm going to say edit the employee GPO. Then in here I will go to preferences and go to window setting, and then right click on this and say new mapped drive. So our map drive, we're going to first of all create, because we want to create a new map drive, and then we go into that our folder to find the location of this folder. That's the network part of this folder. So let's go to the network part. This is where we're going to see it here. So that is the network part here. We're going to copy it, and once we have it copied, then we will be, once we have it copied, then let's get back to the drive mapping, to the group policy where we're mapping the drive, and we paste it here, and then we click reconnect. And the next thing we're going to do is to assign it the driver, assign it a letter. So on that letter here, for the sake of the demonstration, I'm going to choose H, and then we're going to ensure that they are visible by saying show all drives. So, and after that, we're going to say apply, okay. And then our drive mapping is done. Done. Okay, so, and the next thing to do is to log into our client computer. So the next thing to do is to log into our client PC. So, and remember, we're going to be logging in as, remember we created an employee named Jane Doe, who is a member of the employee user. So we'll be logging in with Jane Doe into our domain, and we have the same password. Yeah, so we'll be logging into our client PC using Jane Doe, and let's see. Now it's going. Yeah, so we are now on the client PC, and this is Jane Doe setting up. So what we'll be doing now is we go directly to our PC to see if we actually see the drive that was mapped. Since Jane Doe is part of the security group, employee user, so we should be able to see this drive mapped here. So as you can see, employee data is here, and it is a drive. It is given a letter H as we choose when we're mapping the drive. So this is exactly what we intend to do in this video, how to map a drive, and we'll be stopping here. As you can see, the drive has been mapped. Now, to extend, just to clear every doubt, we're going to create a folder in this drive. To create a folder in this drive, then go back to our domain controller to see if this folder is actually visible. So let's say employee payroll. Okay, so we have employee payroll here, and in it, I'm going to create just a file, a text file here, and that text file I'm going to say testing, and I'm going to open it. And I'm going to say, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, testing. I'm going to close it, save. Okay, so I'm going to close it here. Then the next thing I'm going to do is just to go to my domain controller. As you can see, this is our domain controller here. I'm going to open it, and let's close all these shits. And close all the shirts. Okay, now I'm going. So this is our from domain controller. You can see the file that we actually mapped, the folder that we actually mapped as a drive. So employee data. I'm going to open it to see if we actually have that folder that I created in a client PC in it. So, one to go. Yeah, you see that we have it here, employee payroll. So, and we also have the testing file in it, and in it we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 testing. So, thank you for this video. Thank you for staying to the end of this tutorial. I hope you just get the whole thing. The aim of this video is just to show you how to map out a network drive using group policy, and we have just demonstrated it. Yeah, so as you can see, everything worked out fine as we expected. So this will be the end of this video. The aim of this video is just to show you, to demonstrate how drive mapping is done using group policy, and we did that from creating an employee user and assigning them into making them a member of employee security group, which we already created, and we created a file that we wanted to map out. From the file that we want to map out, we ensure that that file is connected to that same security group. Then we went to the group policy, and we used group policy to ensure we created a group policy object, and from there we edited the object and then created a new drive mapping. From that drive mapping, we went again to the client computer to ensure that we were able to see the drive that we mapped, and everything worked as fine. Thank you for being here.